So what I'm going to discuss in this video is all about thought identity. Now what exactly do I mean by that when I say thought identity? Everything that we have assigned to give the feeling that our thoughts belong to us, that we have assigned the degree of a thought, and that's mine. That thought belongs to me. It's copyrighted, it's trademarked, it's patented specifically for me. Don't you dare steal it. So this is basically what we're going through many of us, and the feeling that all that represent these aspects of thought, all based upon how they have been obtained through ourselves, based upon the programming structure, the conditioning of reality from when we were just born on this planet to where we are right now. That entire continuum of timeline has produced all of these marker points of specific thoughts that have created sadness, that have created despair, that has created depression, that has created anger, that has created resentment, that has created altogether self-loathing, self-unworthiness, lack of trust within the self. So, we're going to take a look at these thought identity patterns. One of the very proficient aspects of body regeneration healing is that its speciality is working to reprogram all the aspects of thought. That's body regeneration healing's speciality. That's exactly what it does very, very prominently. And this has just been documented by many people, dozens and dozens of people who have tried body regeneration healing already. I should say dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, quite a lot. So body regeneration healing, in its own way, represents two specific anchor points. We have the sun and we have the earth, specifically the earth's core. And then we have you as your energy body in between. And through the sun represents the energy of spirit, through the earth represents the energy of the physical. And between the dialogues, between the connection, between these particular two source points, represents the idea of rearrangement. This is actually helping to transform the thought identity based upon noticed functioning within the thought identity. So again, depression, weight gain, sore back or injured back, heart problems, basically you name it. Whatever you feel is there. It's anything that affects you on a physical, mental, emotional level. And again, how body regeneration healing operates is it's a fourth density healing structure, or a 4D, 5D healing structure. Basically, it doesn't just work with your physical and energy body, it also works through the way of event. So 9 times out of 10 from the people who have tried body regeneration healing, when they go to sleep the next night with the sacred circuit that's been created through body regeneration healing, as well as the body regeneration healing holographic process, where you have the before holographic algorithm and you have the after holographic algorithm, where these are spontaneously generated through the matrix. After all that healing process is done, a person will go to sleep. They'll wake up the next morning and they'll feel these immense changes. They'll start to feel these transformations. I didn't do that. The funny thing is that they have given themselves permission to experience this shift in identity transformation. And everything that now starts to become much more prominent within their reality is best expressed through one's own dreams. And the dreams can be very intense. There have been people who have buried a lot of energy within themselves for quite some time, that after having a body regeneration healing was one of the most intense nights of their life. The reason why that is because when there's so much energy buried inside ourselves, and when that has now been given the permission slip through you to be purged, it's a volcano effect. It is an eruption. So we have a volcano here, and this is just exploding with all that lava. All that lava represents the debris. And sometimes it can last a couple of nights, sometimes a few nights. However, it needs to in order for your body to become an empty vessel, so that fresh, spiritual, universal energy can come through. And this is where the thoughts become purified. So it's connecting to your matrix, and all of these brand new universal thoughts come together. This is how you're moving into hyperdimensional language. This is how you're moving into advanced intuition. This is how your genetics are starting to reprogram themselves, because all of that debris is now being purged out of your body. And so the thought identity itself is becoming that active volcano. Now it's not so much about feeling depressed or feeling that you have a heart condition and all that stuff. It's all being worked on, depending upon the severity of what you're going through. Sometimes a couple sessions need to be done because all of that energy that has been spewed, there's still those remnants of energies that will still collect, and sometimes you may still assign the feeling of identity to your body. It won't be as extreme as the first time, but as it starts to happen more and more, your body is getting all the necessary energy it needs from the sun, from the facilitator, from the gateway of that cosmic, universal, spiritual energy to funnel into the empty vessel of your body. When I say empty vessel, I mean that everything that represents the debris, everything that represents distorted energy has been evacuated. And again, sometimes that can be left in your field, but part of body regeneration healing that I do is known as auric field raking. And with the raking, it's basically like if you were to have a rake and you're just raking out all these energies. This is very similar to pranic healing, when they have a crystal bowl filled with charged water and they start scooping out energy into the crystal bowl. Very similar to body regeneration healing phase 2 pertaining to the healing process, where I'm actually raking out the energy through the 7 layers of your auric field. Now, some people may say there might be more of those particular fields, but these particular fields are truncated, which means that they're all condensed in regards to specific tones or specific frequencies that I then rake out in regards to that condensed nature. All right? Sorry to overcomplicate anything if it's a little unclear. So I'm going to see if I can sum this up pretty well here. So again, how does body regeneration healing do this? How is it that it can just spew out all this debris that has been within somebody for years? Well, again, it's because of you. You're the one that has given permission for body regeneration healing to do this. How I work is it's saying that, all right, well, you've purchased a session, you want this done, you've given me the list of the discrepancies that you want to have worked on, and so now that's the permission slip. So you have stated, it's time for me to get this done. It's time for me to purge these thought identities that no longer service me, and so that I can begin a transitional process into more of what I truly am. People who have gone through body regeneration have noticed a change in their pursuit of jobs, work, career. They've noticed a change in their personal diet. They've made new friends. They've had heightened intuition. They've actually been able to gain clairvoyance, as that was one request from one of my clients. And the list goes on and on and on, simply because all of those barriers of saying, Joe, you can't do this, are now starting to go. So now you're actually removing a lot of those particular barricades on a subconscious level. So those barricades are being removed, they're being put aside. Your conscious self and subconscious self are fusing. And so this is what the dream state entails, is that you're somewhat aware of what you're dreaming, but you may not be aware of what's really happening on the subconscious level. All of these are just being taken down. So you're basically giving great deals of permission in the dream state to remove a lot of these barriers. This is, again, the prominent time to where body regeneration healing functions the strongest, is through one's own dream state. I have had people say, well, you know, I felt something very strongly as soon as you did the healing, that's great, but wait till you go to sleep tonight. Wait till you go to sleep the next night, and the next night after that. Usually the first 3 nights are quite intense and quite wonderful and quite transformative. And I always inform people, make sure you keep me up to date with a lot of things that are happening. So it's being able to turn a thought form that is in a clockwise direction, which represents that it's been solidified, it's existing within physical reality. To firstly, when you enter the dream state, or after you receive the body regeneration healing, to turn that into a counterclockwise directional spiral. This represents the idea of outputting that frequency, purging that frequency from your being. When you're assigning thoughts, you're inputting those frequencies. They're coming in from spirit, you've identified them as something as your own, and now it starts spinning in the physical level of clockwise direction. So, body regeneration healing does this. It liquefies the thought, and therefore the thought can then be purged. That's why you wake up the next morning. Sometimes you may feel, I got a bad neck ache, I got a bit of a headache, my back feels a little bit weird. All part of the purging process, because your conscious to subconscious fusion between the dream plane was working very, very diligently overnight to remove a lot of these blockages. But it's always going to be a continual process. We're basically just vacuuming a rug over and over and over again to where there's been a lot of debris. So again, thought identity is looking to be purged. It's no longer feeling that these thoughts belong to you, because no thought ever is. All thoughts are borrowed. They're all part of the experience of the collective unified field. That everybody is literally accessing each other's thoughts. We're only aware of our own thoughts based on what we attract based upon our personality complex. So this is why we feel that we own some of these particular thoughts, when in fact we don't, because there is no identity. It's only something that we have created, something that has become man-made, that makes it feel that our thoughts belong to us, and if we lose them, we lose ourselves. Absolutely, and it's the best thing to do. Lose yourself as best you can. Because if you feel that you're always going to be in a state of identity, you're going to limit your experience in reality. When you no longer feel that I have conditions that represent the identity of myself, you're free. You're moving more into the state of authenticity. And the state of authenticity is to function as an empty vessel that is constantly being filled with energy of authenticity, the energy of universal consciousness, so that you can explore the world in vast ways you never possibly could have imagined. So again, this is what body regeneration healing does in a nutshell. It's just absolutely incredible. You know, even with myself, whenever I feel I need a personal healing, I give myself a body regeneration healing, and oh my God, it's intense for me as well too, and I'm just my own facilitator. So it's very, very powerful, and I do work with people one-on-one afterwards for follow-ups, and there's also a new package that's available through Body Regeneration Healing, which is known as the Series of 4. Basically getting 4 body regeneration healings with a list of 3 particular areas that you want to have worked on, and being able to use that over time throughout the 4 of them. Okay, so that's something else you can check out on consciousmatrix.com. So again, if you feel that this is something that you want to do, it's your permission slip. This is available. It's all based upon if you want to do this, if you feel you're ready to do this, you're signing that permission slip and saying, Brad, here you go. So it's available to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson. Namaste. May it be well with you, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.